Hey everybody, welcome to an advanced word feature called Mail Merge. This is basically something you can use if you need to do form letters or labels for that matter, but I'm just going to do a form letter. Now, once again, I know what you're saying. My God, we have Brad Pitt as our instructor. Yes, you did. No, as I've told you, my family always said I had a face for radio, so I'm sorry, this is the best you're going to get. Anyway, so if you look at my screen, I typed up an invitation to a party that I'm demanding my friends come to. Now, believe it or not, I have a lot of friends. Actually, I don't have no friends. But if I had a lot of friends, I'm not going to type up a different one each time. It's easier just to type up one form letter. This is also known as a boilerplate. Oh, here comes one of my cats. This is a boilerplate. And then I just put in the fields that will change. So how do we do this? We type what we're going to say, but we leave out the parts that change. A way to think about this is if you ever got that Publishers Clearinghouse that said you might have won, trust me, I got the same thing as you did, but they changed our names. Anything that's changeable, just leave it blank. So hello, blank. Now, you know what I'll do? I'll make this bigger so you can see it easier. Because, let's make this bigger. I want you to see. Now, I know a bunch of you are probably saying, oh, you got those dots and backwards P's showing up. I hate those. Well, I love those. The reason is because I can see when I make a space. That's very important when you do a mail merge. You want to be able to see where your spaces are, like here. Okay, so I have my mail merge, my boilerplate, and I'm going to go to mailings. Start mail merge, click the pull down, and there's a step-by-step wizard. It makes it so simple. So I'm going to click that, and let me move my face out of the way here. Right here, the first step, we've technically done that first step already. It says, okay, what are you making? I'm making letters. Could be envelopes, could be labels, could be almost anything. I'm making letters. So I say next. Go down to the bottom and I say next. Now it says, okay, where's this letter you're writing on? You're working on. Could it be a new thing that you haven't even started yet? Could it be the current one I'm using, which it is? Or am I going to start from an existing document or a template? I've already done this step too. That's why I've done the boilerplate. So in essence, out of the first two steps, we've done them already. We've done these first two steps just by typing my boilerplate. So now I'm going to say next. Now it wants to know, okay, who's getting this letter? This is a weird one because it's not intuitive on this step. Okay, I don't have an existing list. I'm not going to use my Outlook contacts, which I could if I wanted to. But I'm going to say type a new list. I'm going to show you why it's not super intuitive. Well, actually, in a minute I will. So I'm going to say create. Now, it tries to help you here. It's trying to say, okay, I have a database, a table already made for you. All you got to do is fill it in. Well, that's a lot of fields I don't need. Really, if you look, I just need a name field, what they're going to bring. That's it. Could I leave all these fields in here? Absolutely. But no reason to. So what I want to show you is I want to show you how to delete or edit this. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Customize columns. See, it tried to help us with the most common columns. So I don't need a title because these people, I'm not going to say Mr. or Mrs. I'm going to use their first name. So their first name. I'm just hitting delete on all these. Company name. Not going to have a company there. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to leave city in there, even though I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to show you, you can leave fields in here and you don't have to use them. It's better to have too many than too few. Now I'm going to delete. I'll leave city in there. I got to remember not to delete city. Okay, delete. Now, could I use work phone to put what they're going to bring? Absolutely. Word is very flexible. It's not as rigid as Excel or Access. So I could type a phone number in city if I wanted to. The computer couldn't care less. But instead, I'm going to try to keep it easy for me to understand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a field here. I'm going to call it bring, because that's what they're going to bring. So I'm going to say, okay, there. I'm going to say, okay now. And now look how this changed. Now I could type in first name is going to be Greg. I'm not going to do city. I'm just hitting the tab key and it's jumping. He's going to bring cigarettes. I got to learn how to spell. This is from the Brady Bunch, and there was an episode where Greg brought cigarettes. Marcia. I love Marcia. She's just going to bring herself because Marcia is perfect. Remember, I'm old. I fell in love with Marcia. Then came Peter. Peter's going to bring beer. Then there's Jan. She's going to bring a ball because there was an episode where a ball hit her in the face. Then there's going to be Bobby. I got to spell it correctly. Bobby. My fingers are too fat. Bobby. Bobby's gonna bring meatloaf. And then you got Cindy. Cindy's gonna bring gum. She's kind of poor. She's not bringing a lot. Then you got Mike, he's an architect, so he's gonna bring the rest. Then you got Carol, the mother, she's going to bring plates. Then you got Alice. She's gonna bring more beer. She'll bring wine. We're gonna have a wild time. When I'm done, I just say, okay, I have finished the list. Oh no, what's this? What it's telling you is it wants you to save the list somewhere. MDB is an Access database. That was the old Access database. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop just because it's easy to find there. You can save it anywhere you want. See, you can see I've done this before because there's my old list, Brady's. So I'm going to call this guests. Would I have used my old one? Absolutely. I'm going to say save. Now, this is saying, okay, you have a list here. Is there anyone you don't want to come? You could uncheck them. Marsha's definitely coming. Why would you need this after I just typed them in? That's because the system doesn't know you just typed them in. It thinks you could be using an old list. If you're using an old list, there might be a whole bunch you don't want to have show up. But I want them all there, so I'm going to say okay. Now, I'm going to my next step. Now, here's where it's not intuitive. I mentioned it before. The other step's pretty intuitive, what to click. But here it wants to know, okay, you've written your boilerplate. Now it wants to know, where am I going to put those fields? Well, I want their name to be here, right there next to the comma. It's under more items. Like I said, it's not very intuitive. It's under more items. So I click there and look, there's first name. I'm going to say first name and I say close. I just double clicked on it and inserted it. Now you notice there's a space here. That's because if I didn't put the space there, they'd be butted up next to each other. It'd say, hello, Greg, right, in one word. You want to put spaces where there's supposed to be spaces. You have to envision the words going in here. Please bring. Now, what's Greg going to bring? I go to more items. It's not city. He's not bringing the city. He's bringing what he's going to bring. I double click and close. There it is. Bring. If I accidentally put a field in the wrong spot, like for example, I put bring here and I close. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. You can just backspace over. It's gone. Now, remember, I want to put their name there again. I go to more items. Can I use first name again? Yeah, you could use it all over the place if you wanted to. Right there. First name, close. There, I just finished this step. This is step 4. I've put these are holders. These are placeholders where the fields will be dropped. I go next. It says, oh, you can preview them. That's nice. See this little thing here? I can look at all of them, see how it looks. This would be where you could see, oh, I put 2 things butted up next to each other. So see Peter, Jan, let's go all the way back. Greg's bringing cigarettes, which is good. She's bringing herself. Remember, Peter, you must come. Peter, Jan, Bobby, Cindy, Mike. Carol's bringing plates. Alice is bringing wine. Looks good to me. You could also exclude somebody at this point. Once again, you could say you didn't want someone to come. So I'm going to go next. It's done. It wants to know, okay, I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? Normally, you do not print. Why? Because I can almost guarantee you the first time you do this, there's going to be a mistake someplace. And then if there's 100 of these, you just wasted 100 pieces of paper. Instead, I want to edit the individual letters. So when I click that, it says, are you, see, it asks you 3 times, are you sure you want all these people? Yes. Give it a sec, and there they are. Look up at the top here. Oops. It says letters 1. This is a brand new document. You've actually created 3 documents. Boilerplate, the table, which is the database, and your final result, which are the letters. See, and here, I can look through them. They all look great to me. If I realize I don't want them, I click the X, I say, don't save. I threw out the letters. But if I wanted to, I could redo them again. I could edit them again and re-merge them. As long as I save the boilerplate, which is the original document, I'm going to close this. That was as long as I save the boilerplate and the database, I'm not going to save the boilerplate. And I have saved the database. Remember when I saved it, it was on my desktop. So anyway, there we go. Those are, that's how you do a mail merge. And if you need any other special things, you can always give me a call. I've been using Word for 30 years. I've used Excel, Access, PowerPoint for 30 years. I can program in them. So if you need special stuff, I can do it. So that's it. I'm going to stop the recording. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to call me.